6:15, I'll call the workshop to order. City Council, 4 purposes on this evening's agenda for the budget: economic development, promotional, budget, I guess, administrative salaries, and marina matters. So, if we want, we can take those in order. Give Mr. Clark on his way some to sit through the entire ordeal.
Oh, I'm gonna listen to some of it.
So the background on this, Tom, is that the county here on that board,
Yes, the county has for 2 years, going on 3, contributed in an arrangement with Target Alpena and the EDC side actually, contracted with Target to essentially take the role of executive director on the CDC board, which has worked out quite well. I think it's beneficial for the city to consider some sort of arrangement of that sort as well, simply because we benefit and we could use Jim's services.
Yeah, we don't see any,
more.
we blend, yeah, Tom, I think, we blend, we don't see, like, we're not segregating between county development and city development, you know, now, I mean, at any level. So Joe and I are working on stuff together, Toby and I are working on things together.
We get that.
And we're thinking things throughout the county. So when we first started looking at what does it look like, we're 2 years in, this is second year, we're just coming to a close. So I really started looking at it saying, you know, right now, the county provides us with funding at $20,000 a year, which $5,000 of that we reinvest back into the chamber for various uses within the Rogers City Chamber of Commerce. So it leaves us about $15,000 within the organization to take on other initiatives. And so what we're looking at is, I looked at that really as a package, and I didn't narrow it down to say, will there be changes in our small business development platforms? Would there be changes? Would there be visible changes based on the scope of services that was separate and distinct from the county? I wasn't sure how to frame that. But to give you a picture of what that 15,000 looks like, it's roughly, even if I just use the whole figure and say $20,000, it's roughly about, and I brought a copy of our 2017 budget. That equates to roughly about 9% of our budget, to give you an idea of that. So even if I easily broke that out into across the 40-hour week, that really say, hey, if it was 9.5% at 40 hours, it comes out to about, what, 4 hours, 4.5 hours or something like that. We've already taken and hired Carl Worley on a part-time basis for small business development stuff, as well as to attend meetings and stuff for us, to a maximum of about 12 hours. So you can already start doing the math in your head, saying, hey, you're starting out from not a good financial position, and that doesn't even include, for instance, my participation in any of those type of things. So long story short, I think from a partnership standpoint and a logistical standpoint, it would make, we would appreciate very much any help Rogers City can provide.
And one of the reasons I thought it was worth considering is I think we need to show the county we're interested and engaged in this effort as well, and not just relying on them to put the entire bill. There are more services we could use, and to be honest with you, we're providing more up here than $20,000 worth of stuff today, and I think we need to be able to recognize that and
Thank you. Yeah, we want to be
formally partner with you.
Yeah, thank you. We want to be the best value proposition we have. I mean, really, that's just from a financial aspect, but that's from a community-wide and community-driven side of things too.
So that's my spiel.
Well, I can think of projects that you've been involved in that have already increased our tax base and that have brought quality services to the citizens of Rogers City. It's been very much value added for, Rogers City hasn't participated, but as you said, you don't really look at it as though, well, I'm going to carve out all of Presque Isle County except Rogers City. No, it's Rogers City as well. And we have benefited greatly from your assistance, so I appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Yeah, we're seeing it as really as a whole. I mean, we're doing obviously a lot of work in the city. We're also starting our small business development, making pretty good pushes in both Posen and Onaway. With those, with some success, with pretty good level of success, and even further beyond that is the amount of activity. There's a considerable amount of activity throughout all three communities for small business development counseling, as well as some small business financial assistance backing it up, so it's pretty cool stuff.
Guys, give me,
No, standard new to me, I'm listening.
okay. We were contemplating somewhere around a $10,000 commitment at some point in this budget year, once we had some idea of what we could commit ourselves to, as well as what you could commit to us in some sort of formalized agreement.
Okay. All right, thank you.
What did the county commit? 20,000?
20 at this point.
Yeah, and like I said, we reinvest 5 of that back into the Rogers City Chamber for various reasons, for, some of the things that I think Joe was in attendance, but some of the things and to spur on and assist in some of the complementary things that go on between the chambers, as well as, our office with Shannon, so it's.
Does the chamber put anything in that too?
No.
No.
Okay.
So everybody comfortable with that basic premise, and we can move forward?
I am.
Okay.
There must be a contract between the county,
There is.
so we'd probably be asking Mike to
Yeah.
put something together for consideration then, Tom.
Yeah, it's a contract kind of scope of services agreement.
Right.
Is it town start?
Very basic. We can get a copy of that to you guys to review, because I don't see where it needs to be a whole lot different than the counties,
No.
frankly.
Yeah. No, that was even based off the contract that we originally had with the city of Alpena's contract, so we made some modifications to it and that kind of thing to, so it reflected the gravity Prescott project.
City of Alpena invests in Target Alpena.
Yeah,
You know what the number is?
for the city, 40,000. They're the largest contributor to Target.
Now, this come under the flag of the target? Well,
Yeah, as the executive director of the
okay.
Prescott County Economic Development Corporation. Okay, I can get, if you give me that, I'll get Mike to look at it and
Go from
get
there.
it on the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're good?
I'm good.
Yes.
Moving on. Promotional budget, we don't really have one, but there are a couple of traditional requests we get every year. I think that's what we're basically dealing with.
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of, because Shannon and I have had a lot of discussions about this. You have the city, you have the chamber. Chamber survives primarily on memberships. Some businesses are members, some choose not to be members for whatever reason. And when you go to put something together like a virtual map that's going to be attached to our marina website where people can from afar see what we have to offer, if they're participating in that, it's hard for them to justify putting non-members with members because in the members stream, what am I paying for? But when you're trying to sell the community, you want to show a diverse eatery and business community and not show, and this is, an exaggeration, but one restaurant and
Not the other.
2 stores. That's not a good way to draw. And, at the present time, we have the absence of a CVB, which Alpena has a very strong one, which assists them with their tourism. There's a gap here. And as much as, it's kind of troubled me because I don't necessarily see that as a function of city government. With that gap, if we're putting nothing in there, I'm having a hard time seeing how some of these things are getting done. So we did put some in for the marina, but there could potentially be endeavors that are not marina related
That aren't,
that are gonna cost some money. So I don't know necessarily that
okay. Give a
just
dollar.
because we've done something 5 years ago, we're gonna continue doing it and therefore we're gonna put it in there. I think it's more to pick and I know I have been talking to Shannon, and this is marina related, but just a couple examples, this is an article in Great Lakes Scuttlebutt, she wrote that and put that together for them. This is the one page that's gonna be going to all these boating and yacht clubs all over, that Dick Lappin has it, I wrote it up. Shannon's the one that made it pretty, and we keep leaning on them to do all of these things, and we're paying them nothing. I mean, we're a member, but we're taking up a tremendous amount of their time, so I told Shannon to at least get me a proposal or an hourly rate or something if we're gonna keep leaning on them for that type of thing. And so I think we need to budget something to cover that. I haven't seen it, she wanted to talk to her more about it, and, but right now it's zero. Last year we got lost in the shuffle and we kept it at zero, and I think the only thing we did was we took out an ad in the school yearbook, and we did a smaller ad than we've ever done in the visitor's guide that Rich Land puts out. So right now, that budget that's in your packet, all of the funds break even with the exception of the general fund, which has a surplus of 32.5. If in theory 10 of it is going to make its way towards economic development, that leaves you 22.5. I'm not saying that should all be spent, some of that should be there for just in case we all know things come up. But, perhaps a budget of 5 would be out of line. If we don't spend it, that's fine, but it's there if something that we believe is worthy comes up. Under the radar, that's almost over. The potential for that to come back and be in front of you again.
What's the dollar amount under the radar?
That was the deal I think they made with the county last time, was 20 or 25 grand. The county picked up almost all of it. I doubt that would be the case again, based on what I'm hearing about their budget. And I know some of the preliminary discussions with Under the Radar, they're far busier now than they were, and they don't even know if they're gonna continue to do something to that extreme. They're having conversations with Shannon in the chamber now, but I think that's a number, and again, that doesn't mean you have to spend it, it just means that we've put something there. If we believe something comes in front of us where it's falling into that gap, or there isn't anyone else that makes sense to fund it, at least we budgeted something.
I think that's good, but I do think that your point earlier is well taken, that, what is the function of government, of city government in particular? And, I would hope that if we are to go ahead with this, and I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but that we look for ways to transition out of that as the years go on, that's something that doesn't get put in place and then it's just a given year after year after year. I would hope that as we move forward as a community, that we could, you mentioned the CVB, Convention and Visitors Bureau, which other communities have. That really is what we should have in order to fund items like this.
Right.
And in the absence of that, I can understand where, maybe we do have to invest in it, but I certainly would hope that there's a way we can push for that in the future and encourage local businesses, in this case, the hotel industry, to support this. It's in their own best interest.
Right.
So suggesting 5 is it?
Yep, so when it comes time to adopt the budget, I would be asking for 5 if we're going to also add 10 to the budget, or we could amend it, but that's what I'm thinking. It's not a big figure, but it's at least something. And again, what we keep hearing is the key to our growth and home sales and everything that has happened is getting people to discover us. You keep hearing people say that we never heard of you, we came here, we fell in love with it. So if we can keep getting them here to check it out and participating in doing that, then
This is going to first with the chamber when they're advertising the city too.
right, it's just a way to participate in endeavors that would come up during the year that you guys feel are worthwhile.
Can you bring those back to us for review?
Right, yeah, right now I have, this, they're gonna ask for this again. I'm not right now suggesting that we're funding any one thing. I'm just suggesting that we have money there for things that come forward that you do believe are worthwhile.
Okay. That's good.
Reasonable.
Administrative salaries?
I'll pass this down.
Just in time. Almost.
So that list, which Terry provided, is the proposed salaries. Those are all included in the budget. That's the same 2.5% pay increase that all the union employees received. The clerk, because of the added duties, well, I think there's two things. I think one of Terry's position was that those office salaries mean, the two that are on the front line should have been higher for quite some time. And now would be the time to perhaps adjust them with the added duties that they've taken on in the absence of a bookkeeper. So what Terry's asking for is 55 cents this year. And actually, I've got that 55 cents in the budget for those two particular employees.
So nothing.
One is in the city clerk treasurer line in the general fund, the other's wages split evenly between water and sewer as the billing clerk. So if you approve the budget, you're actually approving it with the 55 cents.
It's already in there.
It's in there now.
Okay. So this, the result of approving these would have no impact on the budget you put in our packet.
Correct.
It's already in
Oh,
there.
Jimmy, she didn't.
Okay.
Yes, it would just increase those hourly rates from 1617 to 1672.
Okay.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up here it's gonna get much.
Are we,
Just these two get an extra.
are we all,
Oh, wait, I don't know, I think, gotcha. Thank you.
we all on board with that?
Yes.
Yep, gotcha.
Yep. So just approving the budget will take care of that?
Yeah, we'll take care of those particular wages.
Okay, done a last thing. Wayne, I apologize, I wasn't under the impression I would have let you know we were going to discuss it, but I was under the impression you said we wanted to bring it to council and make sure everybody knew, so hope you don't think I was trying to.
No, that's fine. I just happened to be in the area and I thought I'd step
So,
up.
about a month ago, Mr. Vermilia sent me a group of invoices related to the time that he was operating the marina for us under Northern Michigan Marine Management Services, and asked that I at least review those with city staff and council to make sure we had all been aware of those. So I brought it to Joe. Joe indicated that he did respond. He went and pulled it out. He does have the letter he sent on May 4th, 2016 in here. And my only purpose tonight was to bring it to council's attention that when we did present those, they were denied based on Joe and a discussion with staff and the attorney. They were denied. And basically, I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. And we'll go from there. But that was that. So, are there any comments?
I know why Gary isn't here tonight now.
Oh,
That's not fair.
No.
That's not why I'm here either.
so that's where we're at. You're welcome to comment if you want to, but
I would, and I hadn't really planned on it. I mean,
I understand.
I discussed with you. When we were here operating the harbor, as you know, and I think you probably broke even that year, there were a number of things that happened along the way. And we incurred additional expenses that were above and beyond. We provided services that were above and beyond that needed to be done in order to get the harbor in shape for the cruising club event and whatnot. And so at the end, through the process, we were always going to get to the end of the season and then we were going to review and come up with all that. In the meantime, it was a leap of faith or a gentleman's agreement that, let's take care of this, we'll deal with it later, let's take care of this, we'll deal with it later, let's take this, and we'll deal with it later. Well, later came and we all know how the later was. In the meantime, my company expended a considerable amount, even more than that, but those were services that we provided that were outside the constraints or the actual language that was in the contract. And so we sat down at a meeting of our year end and invoiced them on counter tickets and mailed them to the city. My question that came up was, and I don't want to challenge your claims auditor, your review, how you go about doing the process, but I just want to make sure that the council members were fully aware that we had invoiced those and what those services were and what we had done. And I'd be very disappointed if you declined to pay those to us, but obviously it's your choice. And I guess that's pretty much the conversation that Mr. Sobek and I had. probably, so, is that fair?
Yep, that is fair.
Okay.
So, thank you. Anyone else?
No.
Close on that if that's all right. And adjourn the workshop.